Morning, this is Brian. Today is Tuesday, June 20th, 2023, and I'm here in Mount Laguna Recreation Area here in Cleveland National Forest in San Diego County. I'm here at the Red Roost Trailhead just across the road from Thing Valley Road, and got me a nice early start this morning. It's probably a little bit before 6. Got out of the house about a few minutes before 5. So I'm pretty sure it's still a little bit before 6 right now. Beautiful crisp morning here. So what I'm planning on doing today is I'm going to take this old track here. I'm going to start off by trying to make a run at a small hill behind the Red Roost called it's not even a named hill, but it's on the topo maps. It's not even listed on the topo maps. It just has an elevation range of 6,080 feet. So that's my first plan today, is to branch off and head off. I believe I'm heading off in kind of a westish direction to get up to that one. So at the top of this hill, it'll be, we'll call it Peak 6080 plus. And then when I'm done with that, return back to where I came, I'm going to go ahead and hop across to Thing Valley Road, start hiking Thing Valley Road, and see if I can visit the Cuyapaipe Reservoir, if it's not cordoned off or anything. And that's another small peak. That one's maybe about 6,040 feet. They're more like small hills, but that'll be off of a side road from Thing Valley Road. And then I was going to try to make another attempt at hitting Peak 6299, which is also on Peakbagger listed as Mount Laguna. I'll be hiking Thing Valley Road, Pacific Crest Trail, and then try to see if I can find a viable cross-country route. I tried that back in, I think it was July. I tried that back in July of last year, and I probably didn't look hard enough for the route to get up there. I heard there's supposed to be a faded use trail, maybe a duck route, but also some bushwhacking, so I'll have to keep my eyes out to see if I can find it this time. I kind of studied Peakbagger user GPS tracks and tried to cross-reference that with the topo map terrain and the terrain of Google Earth satellite view. So I think I can probably at least make a pretty good attempt at it. Sure as heck gonna try. So we're gonna head up this road. This here is probably only gonna be maybe about 100, maybe 150 feet elevation gain. So we're gonna call this Peak 6080. Like I said, the only indication of it is a small elevation contour on the topo map, kind of west-ish of Red Tailed Roost area. And then again, we got Cuyapaipe Reservoir, which is about a 6,040 foot, in other words, 6,040 to 6,080 foot hill off of a side road from Thing Valley Road. So we'll see how that works out. And we'll see if I'm successful at getting to Mount Laguna, aka Peak 6299. A lot of people use a Thing Valley Road and PCT to get to that peak. It is fairly decently known on Peakbagger. It's the highest point in the Cleveland National Forest, actually. Peak 6299. Not only is it one of the higher summits here in the Lagunas, but it's also the highest point in the entire Cleveland National Forest. So that'd be kind of cool to get to a National Forest high point. I've been to a few of those here in Southern California. I've been to the top of Mount San Antonio, which is on the border of Angeles and San Bernardino National Forest. So it counts as the Angeles National Forest high point. Because Mount San Antonio or Mount Baldy. And then I've been to Mount Pinos in the Fraser Park area, and that's the high point of the Los Padres, not to mention the high point of Ventura County, and it's right on the border of Kern County. So I've been to a couple of National Forest high points. I'm hoping to make this another one for the Cleveland National Forest, since I visit this National Forest quite often. All right, I'll see you up the way. It's a very beautiful morning out here. All right, so this is going to be a pretty short hike here. I don't see this one lasting extremely long. I just got to make sure. I'll try to look and see where the high point is, but you can access it from this track here. Getting up to this one should be a very short affair. This is kind of like my warm-up for my main event. Doing this one in Cuyupapi Reservoir. I don't know if this is it already. Very short walk from where I started. And it's only, like I said, it's a very small amount of elevation gain. There might be some higher terrain over here. It's an absolutely spectacular morning out here. The sunrise vibes are really nice. It's nice to finally get up, do an early hike. Oh no, okay, we got some more up there, okay. I know there's supposed to be a water tower, but I don't think that's supposed to be where the high point is. I think the high point is supposed to be to the right of it, but I'm obviously going to explore it a little bit. Kind of relieved this wasn't it. Kind of like to get a nice little warm-up hike. It's a nice crisp morning, nice chill in the air. I'm suspecting today's high is going to be around 70 up here. I'm getting out this week because going forward on the extended outlooks for our mountain areas, we're looking at some pretty hot stuff heading up this way. Next week, maybe not so much, maybe in the low 80s here. But the week after, going towards 4th of July, Mount Laguna area is going to be close to 90 degrees. So I better get my mountain hiking in now. As when those weeks come up, those might be coastal canyon weeks. It might be one of those. It might be one of those summers again. It's weird because the Weather Channel, I do go on their site to check some 15-day outlooks, to give me an idea of what's going on. They're looking at maybe slightly cooler than average conditions through the entire summer season here along the west coast. That's what I was checking out yesterday. So we'll see how that turns out. Doesn't mean it's not going to be a nasty summer. I'm assuming it's probably going to get humid. I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of monsoon moisture this year. And that may not bode well for comfortable hiking in the mountains or anywhere. It could bode well for good summer rains to keep the momentum going and keep keeping us replenishing our mountain soils with good rains. Alright, so we got the water tower there, and just like what I figured, there's some higher ground on this side here. So what I'll do is probably, when I get up here, I'm probably going to leave the trail for a short stint. So the top of this hill here is on the, it's not, again, listed on Peakbagger. It's not even listed a specific elevation on the topos. What it is, between 6,080 and 6,120 feet. Let's see. Right off of that little gravel road, there's a small little foot track here. This will probably lead up to the high point. Cool little hike here. Let's see. Where's my high point going to be? I'm getting it's going to be up here. There's supposed to be like a small hill behind the visitor center too. That could be something worth exploring another day. This appears to be the high point right here. So this appears to be it right here. Peak 6080, or Hill 6080. Right behind Red Tailed Roost. Very short, very easy walk to get up here. I don't know if I can really show you too many views because it's kind of wooded here. And for me, that's just fine. But yeah, this is looking northeast right here. Since we're near the summer solstice, the sun's going to rise to the furthest north right around this time before it starts rising a little bit more to the south each time until you get through summer, fall, and winter. We've got some of the other higher peaks here, the Lagunas. So now we're looking more like towards southeast over here. I'm probably going to be heading off in that direction. I think that might be Cuyapaipe. That might be Cuyapaipe. That might be Cuyapaipe Mountain right there. That is, I'm pretty sure that is, because I'm going to be heading off in that direction towards Cuyapaipe, but I'm not going to be leaving the national forest and going on the Cuyapaipe reservation lands. There's a reservation not that far from the summit of Peak 6299 or Mount Laguna, and I think you're supposed to get written permission to be able to hike Cuyapaipe, according to what I've read. A, and B, you're not supposed to do it alone. I guess you're supposed to have like another person or at least a small group. So yeah, I think pretty sure that's Cuyapaipe. If that's the case, that's the high point of the entire Laguna range at 6,378 feet. And that hill in front of it might be Peak 6299. It might be the one I'm trying to go for. And that would be just inside the Cleveland National Forest. Alright, so let me get some shots up here and get a couple pictures and start moving on back towards the road. Alright, so I'm leaving the summit area. I'm just going to go ahead and kind of just arch my way around, maybe go back to the gravel road and take the gravel road back. But pretty nice stuff popping off along here. Like we've got a lot of yarrow. This is this plant here. This is Achillea millefolium. It's a member of the sunflower family, Asteraceae. It's a plant that's pretty widespread, I think, through a huge chunk of the world, not just here in California, not just here in Western North America, but I think it might be, I don't know if it's circumboreal, meaning all through the northern climates. And then it looks like we got a species of Collinsia right here, some type of blue-eyed Mary. I'm not really too fluent what species are which, but that's definitely a species of Collinsia. So it's called a blue-eyed Mary. There's another plant, another plant in the genus Collinsia, or two plants in the genus Collinsia that are much larger and have much larger, taller flower displays, and those are called Chinese houses. And those are Collinsia concolor and Collinsia heterophylla, I believe. So I guess I actually want to be heading back this way. Definitely have some wildflowers. Oh, and I was talking about yarrow, the white one, Achillea millefolium. This is golden yarrow, Eriophyllum confertiflorum, variety confertiflorum. There's a smaller yarrow, regular white yarrow plant. So looks like we got blue-eyed Mary, white yarrow, golden yarrow, and I saw some Leptosiphon, the plant we sometimes call snow in summer. It's a variety of Leptosiphon, or subspecies of Leptosiphon floribundus. Let me see if I can get over here real quickly. This plant is still blooming up here. Usually in the lower elevations, this thing will bloom in the early and mid-spring, but up here, it's still blooming right now. Now, I'm not sure what subspecies that's supposed to be. I thought we were supposed to have only Leptosiphon floribundus, subspecies floribundus, but I think we also have Leptosiphon floribundus, subspecies glaber. That might be a possible find up here as well. All right, so I'll have to maybe do a little more research into that one. Because me, not only do I like to know species, but I do like to learn plants down to their varietal and subspecies level, if possible. Especially helps when I'm doing spotlight videos. Alright, so we're going to go over towards the water tower, just really quickly. Let's see. Well, actually, it's a water tower. It's over there. I mean, pretty cool, but kind of not necessary. So, turn back here, bank a left, and start heading back down towards Red Tailed Roost. Pretty cool little short hike to get up here. Then, like I said, I'm going to cross Sunrise Highway and pick up Thing Valley Road and head over that way. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that over there is going to be Cuyapipe Mountain over there. And that, if that's the case, that's probably going to be 6299 right there. That'll probably be my attempted destination right up there. So I think that's peak 6299. All right, I'm going to start moving on, and I'll see you when I'm about ready to cross the road, unless something else pops up in the way that needs to be documented. Noticed a few of these little guys coming down. These little guys here. It's a small monocot plant called Golden Star. Now I know taxonomy with these monocot plants have been changing a lot lately, but last I read up, it was Bloomeria crocea. They're called Golden Stars. I've seen these at low elevations, and I've seen them here at 6,000 feet in the mountains. But very cheerful late spring and summer flower. It's a small monocot plant. I can get a little bit larger than that. For some reason, I don't see those very often. I'm surprised I didn't see them much this spring either, especially considering the the insanity and super bloom that we had. I was kind of surprised to not have come across that. I'm trying to see if there's any more of it. Well, I've seen a few of them. And then, of course, we have a subspecies of Drimocalis glandulosa. This is a sticky cinquefoil. It's a type of plant in the rose family, the Rosaceae, and it's in bloom right now. There are a few different varieties or subspecies of this plant, and it's hard for me to keep track of it. We got, I think, subspecies. So it's Drimocalis glandulosa. We have subspecies, I think subspecies Rongelianus, subspecies glandulosa, and there might be a couple other ones. There's supposed to be some subtle differences that I need to get on game with them. But back to the golden stars. Here's one that hasn't bloomed yet. Those are the buds. So there's one that hasn't bloomed. And we've also got some Clarkias too. These plants here, I think this is Clarkia rhomboidea. I think is what this one is, but I'll double check that one. I think that's Clarkia rhomboidea. But like I said, last week I was out and I saw some Clarkias over in coastal San Diego, and those ended up being Clarkia unguiculata, which is another species. That one seemed to have larger flowers, but that one I think is Clarkia rhomboidea. Alright, so I'm already back at the car, right there. But obviously not done with the hike because I'm going to be hopping across Sunrise Highway. So let's see. Let's see what we got. Before I go head across Sunrise Highway, school bells. We got Dipterostemum capitatus up here. It used to be known as Dichelostemma capitatum, variety or subspecies capitatum. Now it's Dipterostemum capitatus. So we've got school bells even up here. So I've been pointing those out a lot this winter and spring because they are very numerous in the low elevations where I've been hiking, coastal San Diego County, the foothills, and you get them even up here. See, now we're down at the base of the hill right by the Red Tailed Roost area. So right here where we are now is a little bit lower in elevation. We're at 5,950-ish. Now all we got to do is just leave the lot, head over there. Got to cross Sunrise Highway and dip over to Thing Valley Road. So what I do is cross there. Thing Valley Road is a very short distance along the highway, so I got to do a short little highway hoof. Say good morning to our little incense eater friend here. Our little incense eater friend across the lot. So here we are, typical Mount Laguna area brethren. The black oak, Jeffrey pine, and of course this is a coulter pine right here. This is a young coulter pine. There's another coulter pine right there. Been really tempted to go up to Riverside County and hike up to Thomas Mountain. I had a plan for that, and I've had that on the back burner for a while. Today would have been a good day for it, but I've been going through some issues lately with not getting sleep. I think part of the reason why I'm out here so early today is that I only got about 3 hours of sleep. I've been up since about 1 this morning. Midnight or 1 this morning. I figured why not, if I'm already up, why not start knocking out the adventures early. I've been having a lot of sleep problems lately. That's why until I get that rectified, it might be a while before I do any extremely long hikes. Long drives to long hikes. Long drives meaning driving up to San Bernardino Mountains or whatever, or the San Jacinto area. Those require long drives. Okay, so here we are. That's where I just was, over there at the Red Tailed Roost. And here I am entering Thing Valley Road right here. So what I'm going to do, start following Thing Valley Road. And then there should be a road that branches off to the left that ascends up to a small reservoir area, Quipaipe Reservoir. And that's where I should be able to access Hill 6040, or let's call it Quipaipe Reservoir. At first time I went here and I attempted Peak 6299, or Cleveland National Forest High Point, Mount Laguna. This is where I parked right here. Just went a short distance down the road, parked right there. And that was the only attempt I made, was at 6299 that day. We'll see if today's a little more auspicious. Earlier start. We'll see how this goes. So now we'll see. So I'm not sure if I'm already supposed to branch off this early. I didn't think I would be. I'll have to keep my eyes on this. At any rate, if it comes down to that, I might have to attempt the Quipaipe Reservoir at the end, in case I get too far down and think, oh, okay, yeah. We'll see. All right, well, let's see. We'll start moving on. A lot of this area is going to be pretty well forested. Like I said, I've been in this area before, along Thing Valley Road. I'm going to be following Thing Valley Road until a weird little X-shaped intersection. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over that and then join the Pacific Crest Trail. And I'm going to take the PCT, and the Pacific Crest Trail is going to go along the base of where I'm going to leave the trail to start climbing up to Peak 6299. So we'll see how this goes. This should be interesting. Well, if I don't see any other roads branching off anytime soon, before I make the hop over to that intersection, then I'll probably just assume hit Quipaipe Reservoir Hill on the way back. I'm just going to call it that for now. So we'll see. All right. Now we're entering a nice stand of some modest size, but nevertheless beautiful Pinus Jeffrey, of course. And so we're going to be losing elevation during the original portion of this hike. So be aware. If you're going downhill, don't worry, you're not going the wrong way. You'll have a little uphill on the way back. All right. But I remember not that far down is where I came across the highest elevation I've ever seen a coast live oak. So I'll probably point that out again. All right. See where else we're at. Let's see what else we can find today. All right, so still walking down the trail. Come across what used to be a massive canyon live oak. This used to be a massive canyon live oak. It's still alive, because this is all part of what used to be a massive canyon live oak. You can see it's grown back quite a bit, and it's starting to get up to a pretty decent size already. So pretty interesting. Well, let's see what else. Let's see how much more. I just remember this one area had a really nice canyon live oak woodland. So I'm going to take a little bit of time to appreciate this. Take some time to appreciate this. Just remember, this was just a very charming hike right here. This area right here is absolutely gorgeous. It's nice to be in a nice canyon live oak woodland. I had to appreciate this for a few minutes. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that over there is going to be my peak. The peak that I'm going to be needing to climb. It's going to be back there. Mileage-wise today, I'm not sure the exact mileage, but I think we're looking at probably about, I want to assume maybe about 6 miles, or kind of estimate. Now, here's that coast live oak. Quercus agrifolia variety Oxyodania. Right here. This is, again, this still stands as the highest elevation I've ever seen this before. So, yeah, right here. Quercus agrifolia variety Oxyodania. No doubt about it in my mind. Coast live oak it. We're about 5,850 feet here. A little bit below 5,900. So, yeah. Pretty high up for coast live oak. That's the southern coast live oak, so that one's usually a higher elevation than the variety agrifolia type is. All right. Keep moving on. Appreciating these beautiful canyon live oaks here. Maybe I'll get lucky and find an actual full-blown coast live oak tree somewhere around here. Oh well. I'm just gonna enjoy what I've got going on here. All right, I'll see you up the way. All right, so as I'm hiking along, I suspect that that very immediate branch of the trail on Think Valley Road, the immediate left, was probably the way I needed to go up to Cuyapaipe Reservoir. So that looks like that's probably going to be on the way back out deal, I'm guessing now. We're still heading downhill, predominantly downhill right now. Then eventually we should be able to start getting ready to head uphill. I've been here before. It was last July, so early July. I'm also keeping my eyes out for any rare plants that might pop up. There's a type of plant in the rose family called Cleveland Horcalia, and I've seen it here before, and hopefully we'll be able to see it again. Hopefully catch it in bloom is what I'm really hoping. That's a rare local endemic species of plant. So, Horcalia clevelandii, subspecies clevelandii. All right. I remember seeing it this side. I don't know if it was on the road or on the PCT, but I remember seeing it right on the side of the trail. It is absolutely stupendously beautiful out this morning. Cannot stress it enough how awesome it is to be out today. All right, so we're going to start hitting a junction here. Let's see. No, I don't think it's a junction. It's just a little gulch over there. We haven't. Like there's an old trail down there. That's definitely not going to be the way to Peakbagger Reservoir. That's further back. I'm not sure where that leads. There's a trail sign or something over there. But it looks like some kind of a trail over there. Alright. Here we go. Keep on working our way around here and see if I can get lucky and find a good suitable route to get up to that peak today. I'm hoping. I'm going to try a little bit harder than last time. That's for sure. Alright, so I'm working my way along. Ooh, look at that. Castanea, Applegate subspecies Martini, wavy leaf paintbrush. If you look carefully there, you can see the waviness of the leaves. That type of paintbrush is one of the most common ones I come across. I come across that one on a very regular basis. Fortunately, especially more so during the summer when those beautiful orange leaf bracts come out underneath where the flowers are. Yeah, those aren't petals. Those orange things, those are leaves. Modified leaves called bracts that subtend the flowers. But the reason why I really started filming is we do have a pretty big Jeffrey pine here. Now, huge Jeffrey pines are not super common here in the Lagunas. And I kind of have my theories as to why, momentarily. But this one's a pretty girthy tree. It's one of the girthier ones I've seen. Occasionally you'll find a couple of pretty girthy specimens of Jeffrey pine here. This one's got a little height to it too. Not extremely tall, but it looks like it's maybe about 115, 120 feet tall. Now, as I was saying, and I'm about to say, let me go switch my batteries real quickly. As I was mentioning, my belief is that this is a pretty young, relatively young growth forest. So you go through some parts of Southern California, go through parts of Cuyamaca, go through parts of the Cleveland National Forest, and especially the San Bernardino and Angeles National Forests, and then up towards Los Padres and Sequoia National Forests. Some places that Jeffrey pines get huge. They are definitely not slouchers in the size department. Now, my thing is, a lot of these trees are probably not old growth trees. There are a few older ones here that have probably survived a lot of fires, but this strikes me as a young forest. That's why you come up to Mount Laguna, a lot of the trees are a little smaller, and like I said, you do occasionally get some older trees, but you can kind of tell that these trees aren't really super old growth is by the color of their bark. And that's one thing with a lot of our yellow pines, especially Jeffrey and Ponderosa pines, which are yellow pines, is that the older trees will their bark breaks out into wide plates. This one's breaking out into some plates right now, so this one definitely has some age to it. But if you hike here, you notice that a lot of the Jeffrey pines here have dark, deeply furrowed bark, and that's usually a telltale sign that they're fairly young. See, in terms of the Pacific Ponderosa pine and actually Ponderosa as a race of trees, as a species of trees, Ponderosas start out very similar. This is a Jeffrey, of course. I don't think we have Ponderosas here in the Lagunas. I've never seen them personally. But you see here, look how dark gray the bark is colored. That's how Jeffrey and Ponderosa pines both start out as. So I know for ponderosa specifically, they call it the blackjack phase, when the tree's young and has really dark bark. I apply that to Jeffrey pines as well, because they start off just the same way, with very dark bark, and then eventually the trees break out into plates when they're older. And this is not a super old tree, but this tree's definitely got more age to it. I suspect we pretty much got Jeffries here. This one I would definitely pay more attention to as to whether it's a Jeffrey or a ponderosa. This one definitely has the coloration of a ponderosa. I think it's still a Jeffrey pine. I'm trying to look for younger cones, if I can tell. There's not a big color difference between the upper and lower cone scale, so I'm sticking with Jeffrey pine. I mean, I guess ponderosa could be possible here. I didn't think I would see it. I didn't think I'd ever see it at Cuyamaca Rancho, but it's definitely there, ponderosa pine. 100% no doubt. But yeah, as you notice, some of these older trees start breaking out in wider bark plates, which is pretty common in ponderosa and Jeffrey pines. So just, you notice you do have some younger adult trees that are breaking out into plates, like this one here. But what I notice is that when Jeffrey and ponderosa pines get really old and really large, their bark plates can either be really thin and skinny, like a checker pattern, or they could be very wide and very wide. And that's both Jeffrey and ponderosa. That's at least been my experience. Here's a kind of younger one, starting to play out a little bit. But yeah, I don't see anything here that I would consider truly extremely old growth, save for a couple of specimens, because these mountains have been charred by fire a lot over the years. So I do consider that as well. But yeah, this is not an old growth forest by any stretch. So there might be individual old trees. A couple of those Jeffrey pines back there were. But yeah. One thing though is this is an absolutely astonishingly beautiful area here. So that's one thing that cannot be, at least in my opinion, disputed. In my opinion, this is an extremely beautiful area. Nice to be in the pines again. All right. Well, I keep on trekking up this little cattle guard or whatever this is here. All right. All right, so actually, first of all, I think we're right near where the PCT is. Because I could see a junction here. What I want to do is I'm going to, just like the last time, I'm going to bank a left up here and start heading up towards that way. That should start getting me towards the PCT and start heading up towards the peak. All right, so I just went up this spur a little bit. Here I am, PCT. I'm not gonna be heading this way, but that's northbound. I'm gonna be heading southbound. So here's kind of like a weird X-like intersection right here. Kind of a weird intersection. So Sid, what I did is I went up Thing Valley Road, and then where you saw me pointing to the left, I went up this very short spur, led me up to maybe about 100 yards, led me right to the PCT. So now what I want to do is go up this and try to approach the high point of the short section of trail at about 6,070 feet. And that's where I'm going to look over this way for a potential cross-country route to get up to the peak. So let's see how that works out today. Here we are, joined by beautiful Emmett or Utahensis, Utah serviceberry. And it's getting its fruit right there. And despite it be calling serviceberry, fruit's not a berry, it's a pome. It's a core fruit, like an apple, a quince, a pear, or other natives like the toyon. It's a core fruit. All right, so now, basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be following this, try to find a high point, then start looking for, hopefully, maybe I'll find the duck route or something. I'll find a duck route or something to start getting up this, but I'm going to have to kind of pay attention, so bear with me. My clips are very short and abrupt. Alright, so I'm at another junction here. And kind of like last time, I'm still kind of scratching my head a little bit. See, this is the PCT. It's going to keep going this way. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this double track here. So, like I said, I was on the PCT the last clip. And now I'm kind of branching off of it. So now, I think this is what I did last time too, if I remember correctly. I think I did this last time as well. See, I can see the ridge where peak 6299 is. I'm really hoping to get at least a good attempt in to get up there. So, some people see rock ducks. So, last time I was here, don't remember seeing that. I remember looking at the imagery on Google Earth. Look on, you'll see PCT, and then you see a double track, kind of roughly parallel to it, and the little double track seems to be the logical place to leave and bust out to the east to get up this. So, I can see, just like last time, I can see the ridge. This peak 6299 is on a ridge. So let's see. I'm going to really keep my eyes out here on the left side if I see any rock ducks, because this seems to be a fairly popular, or at least fairly decently known peak, and I have read people on Peakbagger finding rock ducks. So I'm going to keep looking, and I'll keep you updated, see how this turns out. Alright, so I'm kind of where this little double track kind of crests. I think what I was supposed to do is leave the trail before it crests. So I think I did see some possible open spaces where I could leave the trail and try to see if I could forge an attempt. I didn't see any rock ducks or rock piles left on the side of the trail. That's kind of what I was really trying to ascertain or find. But see, this is about where we crest. This is about 6,070 feet above sea level. So what I was doing is I was looking at the terrain along this double track, and it looked like there was a really good place to leave a trail, probably about 6,050, 6,060 feet elevation shortly before it crests. And that's where it appears to crest, right there. But I did see what looked like some open space on this side, which could definitely be a possibility. Let me go back. I'm just backtracking a little bit here because I was looking for rock ducks on the ground. So here we are, kind of in an open area here. But judging by the way the terrain looked, my best bet was to go through a big wide open space here on this side, on the east side of the trail, and then as I get up to the chaparral, where the chaparral is, start looking for some, looks like maybe some large oaks, so maybe some large scrub oaks or black oaks or canyon live oaks. So I was following the GPS tracks of other people and cross-referencing them with Google imagery. There appeared to be, they would kind of cut a path south of a line of oak, look like oak trees on Google imagery. So what I'm going to do, so this open space here, like I said, we crest not that far up ahead. This to me is going to be my trail departure point, right here. This is where I'm going to depart the trail. I'm going to depart through this open space here, and I'm going to start heading roughly this way, which is east. So I'm going to see if this works. Let's hope. Let's hope that this is going to be a successful attempt today. All right. So at this very open space here, definitely looks like a pretty logical place to leave the trail. So I was kind of hoping to find a duck route. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Like I said, I'm keeping this as an attempt until further notice. And the only way to get up there is to try. So, I do see some thickets of oak up here. So maybe I could find a way to cut through it. Yeah, there's like a line of what I suspect are probably canyon live oaks and maybe some black oaks. Alright. Well, this is where the adventure begins. Alright. I'll see you up the way. We'll see how this goes. All right, so I've reached a real nice thicket of oaks. Just wondering if these are the oaks I was supposed to try to clamber through. Definitely haven't seen any rock ducks. So I don't know if this is going to dead end in a monster bushwhack or what. I have a feeling the way I'm going is going to turn into a pretty gnarly bushwhack pretty soon. It looks like it. I see nothing but bushwhacking over here. Then I see maybe a small tunnel I can crawl through. Let's see if this will work. But I do get the impression this is going to turn out to be a really insane bushwhack. At least the way I'm going. Alright. So I want to go back down. Provided this is a success. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I'll have to make sure to aim for a line of canyon live oaks. Really hoping to find a series of ducks, but looks like I'm going to be on my own on this one for today. All right. Let me see what happens when I get through this small thicket here. Okay, that was crazy. All right, some dust must have got down my throat. All right, so here we go. Made it out to this open space. So this is much further than I made the last time. I do see lines of canyon live oaks. So I suspect I'm pretty close to being on point of the route I kept studying for myself. So I remember lots of canyon live oak, and then it was kind of like a line going up the hill for a little bit, and then eventually it's going to be chaparral. So let's see if this works out. Got a lot of skunk brush sumac up here. Rus aromatica. Starting to get some views opening up. That's looking over towards Wooded Hill over there. Okay, well, let's see. Definitely have to be very careful over here. Alright. We'll see how long this lasts before it becomes impenetrable. I'm going by the assumption that it will at some point. But while I have it like this, I will appreciate it while I have it. All right. Probably try to stay a little bit more to the right. So I'm heading east right now. So we'll see. I can smell the skunk brush that I brushed up against. Very pungent. Very aromatic plant. Hence the name Roost Aromatic. Alright. So let's see. Whichever way I go, it looks like I've entered the wall of chaparral. Good views from here. Alright. Let me go focus on which way I want to go. If I go here, it's going to be a full-on thrash session. If I go around the other side, I'm not sure yet. I'm not really too sure yet. Let me see something. Alright. I'll try to keep you updated. Alright. So, I decided to abandon going to the left. To the right. I started going to the right, and there's a wall of chaparral, kind of like I suspected. On this side, it's no better. In fact, it looks even worse. So I'm gonna have to circumnavigate a little bit around here. See if I can get to a better position. I have to kind of bushwhack through here, perhaps. This doesn't look that good either. Son of a biscuit. I don't know. This isn't looking so hot over here. Might have to go into full-blown bushwhack mode. I think I might have to this time. Been nice to find that route, that duck route. Alright. I have to figure out a way to get through this. Without anything happening. It's actually pretty hopeless over here. Son of a biscuit. Okay, so that option wasn't going to happen. I'm going to have to try going through this way again. Unless I have to side hill for a while, I don't know. I might just have to pony up and bushwhack and just go for it. Let's see. For the brush on that side looks nearly impossible. Brush on this side also looks pretty nasty. Alright. Let me see what I can do over here. Get around this canyon live oak here. Maybe I'll be lucky to find the bush. The route better on the way back. This is definitely not working out too well. So far. Oh boy. Alright. Yeah, that's kind of what I suspected would probably happen. Be caught up in a full-out bushwhack situation. Kind of reminded me of Little Stonewall Peak right now. So this is reminding me of, starting to remind me of that again. Oh boy, yeah, this is nasty. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured would happen. Oh boy. So, got hollyleaf redberry, Rhamnus alicifolia, we got some hollyleaf cherry coming up here. Yeah, this does not bode well for bushwhacking. This is pretty insane, actually. Here's hollyleaf cherry. It's getting ready. Oh, it's starting to bloom. Prunus alicifolia, subspecies alicifolia. Yeah. Yeah, this is really not playing out so hot. This is definitely a wall of thickets here. Yikes. I'm starting to lean towards this becoming yet another attempt. I came through that way. I came at a diagonal angle. Man, I'm not a big fan of bushwhacking. I'm not a fan of doing this. I don't think too many people are. But I don't know. It's all just a big old thrash fest over here. I might have to reorient myself. I remember seeing this imagery, and I'm pretty sure I'm right where I planned to go to get up the hill. But yeah, this is kind of. I think I might have seen this rock on the imagery too. It says this is in a bald spot. Hard to tell, but I think over there is probably just a brush. Sheesh. I really don't see a viable route to get through here. I think I might have to reevaluate. I think what I might have to do is just retreat and maybe angle off this way. Huh. Yeah, pretty sure I was where I was supposed to be to leave the trail. Pretty sure I was in the right spot to do so. Pretty confident in that. But if people are saying, then again, it can't be 100% because people are mentioning seeing rock ducks and stuff, and even faint use trails. I haven't seen neither. Have seen neither nor. So I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and try to backtrack. I'm going to have to go re-thrash through this again. Just maybe retreat down the hill a little bit more and see if I can find a better place. I think this is California thistle. I think this is Cirsium occidentale californicum or something like that. I think this is one of our native thistles. Pretty neat. Flower head in bloom right now. Actually has a slight fragrance to it. It's actually quite a pleasant fragrance. Alright, so like I said, this could be just me getting myself in deeper craziness here. Here's the plant called small Monardella nana. Not a super common plant. gotta be careful. Let's see if I can bring around here. Let me see if this ends up in another dead end, which I'm assuming it probably will. Let's see. Brush thinning out a little bit over here. This might give me some hope. Oh boy. It's kind of thinning out a little bit over here. So I'm kind of happy for it right now. Oh boy. Holy snap. All right. Yeah, I got a lot of hollyleaf cherry up here. Wow, look at that. It's blooming up here too. I still have not spotlighted this plant, but this plant is so widespread here in Southern California. You find it at sea level, and I'd say we're probably about 6,100, between 6,150 and 6,200 feet above sea level here. All right, so I made it back towards this canyon live oak over here. I'm wondering if I can wiggle my way through here. Oh boy, this is insane. This is at least as, parts of this are at least as insane as the little stone wall attempt that I undertook last month. But yeah, so here I am inside the canyon live oak thicket. I'm not really seeing any good exit strategies from over here to start climbing up the ridge. I need to remember to buy some goggles for hiking. Gotta remember to buy some goggles for this. So I'm kind of at the end of this, and it's nothing but a wall of craziness here. So looks like I'm gonna have to come out this side of the canyon live oak. Try to see if I can rearrange. A little bit. Catch you on the next clip. So I've reached another momentary breach on the north side of the canyon live oaks. I'm wondering if this will be auspicious. But from what I can see, it's kind of hard to tell right now. So I have made some uphill progress. I was wondering if this is part of that faint use trail. I don't know. It does not look like it anymore. This will definitely be an adventure on the way back. That's for sure. But I think it's the sun glare is what's making it hard for me to see anything. Gotta be careful. I'll stare straight in the sun. It's very slow progress, but I am coming across some openings and breaches here and there. I'm just wondering how long this will last. Oh boy. That's pretty gnarly. This is a pretty crazy brush. Made it up. Okay, so now this is the next, looks like the next thrash session. Maybe. What I'm gonna do is walk through this grass here. I have a nice big boulder here. Oh, scrape myself something nice. So far. So far I'm able to make some progress going uphill, which is always good. So I'm going to try to, when I do my map, whether I make it to the top or not, at this point is anybody's guess. I'm sure not ready to give up, that's for sure. I plan on trying to be as proximate as I can. Like I said, I don't really have fancy GPS equipment. I try to rely more on my ability to do my own route finding. I mean, I could find my way back, even if I have to thrash through brush. I can always thrash my way back. I can always do that. I know how to get back to the Pacific Crest Trail and that double track. Plus, the landmarks here are so obvious. So, all right. Which way do I want to go? Do I want to go this way, or maybe this way through the buckwheat? Ooh, a hollyleaf cherry seedling in there. That's pretty cool. All right. All right. So I'm getting closer to the ridge. Really getting closer to it right now. But I'm glad I brought a first aid kit with me. First aid kit and some sanitary wipes. I'm gonna have to brush myself off when I get back. That's for certain. I scrape myself up a little bit. As you expect when you're bushwhacking. But right now, I'm enjoying the fact that the route is opening up. And I mean by on the way back to the trail, probably just some temporary check-ins or quickie check-ins or whatnot. Brush here is a lot gentler. Very pleasantly surprised. But all I have to sorry for the wind, but I've come up quite a ways. I suspect, geographically, I'm not that far from the summit. I suspect. But then again, this isn't a really sharply defined peak, so yeah. All right, keep you updated. All right. Boy, yeah, it's back to a complete wade, chaparral wade right now. Oh boy. Man, this is crazy. I don't know if this is it or not, but on the ridge. Oh boy. know if this is it. Definitely looking for a summit register. Could be a false summit though. Woo! Last little push was pretty crazy. I was looking over towards Cuyah Pipe. But we're right near the boundary of Cleveland National Forest. So I'm looking for any sign, summit register, or anything up here. I'm hoping this is it. Can't see behind the shrubs yet. I'm gonna have to probably bank around and look on the other side of the bushes here. Right now, like I said, I don't see a summit register. I don't know if there's supposed to be one up here. I would think so. Let's see. This might not even be the actual summit. Hoping it kind of is. Let me see. Get to the top of this. Right here. It's got to be it. Gotta watch your step because there's a lot of stuff in the way. Oh boy. Yeah, this is it. This is it. This is the summit. I don't know if I can get enough of a footing over here. I'm trying to get a foothold on this rock. Crawl up this, I guess. Oh boy. Get into this crack. Oh. Yeah, this is definitely it. Wow. This is the highest peak over here, so. Yep, there it is. Summit register. Alright, so this is it. Cleveland National Forest High Point, aka Mount Laguna, aka Peak 6299, highest point in the Cleveland National Forest. Finally made it up here, and I didn't find any duck route. I just had to thrash through a lot of chaparral. Hopefully I can find a better way on the way out, but I'm going to take a quick break because I got the little summit register here. Just a short, quick little class 3. All right, well, here it is. Peak 6299, high point of the Cleveland National Forest. Those are very old registers. Pretty interesting. I definitely have to sign this one. I mean, as for the level of difficulty, the most difficult part is the bushwhack up here. That's it. Other than that, it's a pretty moderate hike. Let me go ahead and sign the register and start thinking about heading down. Alright, so I just went and finished signing the register. I just put the date and my name. Some of these registers are in really old shape. Really old. I didn't even sign the same booklet that I pointed out on the previous clip. I'll tell you one thing, when I get home, I'm gonna have to do one heck of a tick check. See a small one on my shirt there. Let's do one heck of a tick check today, I'll tell you. Alright, so I signed the register. Did I get the whole register in there? I hope I put it all the way. I don't want to leave any of it sitting out. Yeah, looks like I got it. Yeah, it would help if I put the pencil away. Alright, so yeah, forgive the view of the rocks there. bear with me. Put the summit register back. Always put it back where I find it. So there we go. Yep, this is it. Peak 62.99. I hope I'm going to find an easier way to get down though. But yeah, for some reason, I kind of had a feeling I was kind of on the right path, judging by how the brush was opening up a little bit, that I was going to eventually be able to make it up here. I'm just not looking forward to have to go down this. That's not going to be fun either. Going down bushwhacking through all the tangles. I mean, it's not a super long distance. It's a pretty short distance. It's just, you're going to be expecting to need to take your time on this. So let's see, we've got some views up here. Okay, so we're going to start off by looking towards the north, over towards this way. So we have the Santa Rosa Mountains, including Villager Peak and Rabbit Peak, and then of course there's Whale Peak right there towards the northeast. Then looking further north, background, we have the high point of the Santa Rosa Mountains, Toro Peak, at 8,716 feet. Then we have Stevenson Peak there at just over 6,200, a little bit lower than where we are here. And then, right next to it, just to the north of that, is Monument Peak, 6,271. Been up there a couple times. And there's Hayes Peak at 6,180 plus. In other words, 6,180 to 6,220 feet. Okay. Swinging a little bit more towards the northwest. I can see North Peak. I can see Palomar Mountain way off in the background. We're looking northwest, and then North Peak and Cuyamaca Rancho. And if you're swinging around to the west, you get a nice Utah service barrier right here on the Lockyer Utahensis. Now we're going to go swing it around to the southwest. I can see out towards some of the lower peaks. I think that's Kachama right there. I think that's Tecate Peak, I believe. There's still some marine layer hitting the coast, but here inland we really got some good visibility today. So yeah, so we're looking more towards the south. That's looking over towards Mexico, of course. I don't think I can see the border wall from here. That'd be kind of cool if I could. And that's towards the Sierra Juarez Plateau, where the Sierra Juarez Mountains are. And then as we're swinging around to the east now, this is Cuyapaipe Mountain right here, the highest point in the Laguna Mountain Range. And it also has a slightly lower subpeak as well. That's just under that. And here's a big, long, broad plateau right here. This is all in the Cuyapaipe Indian Reservation land. So you'd have to get permission to hike on any of that, and I don't even know if that's possible, but you'd have to definitely look into that if you wanted to try Cuyapaipe Mountain. But yeah, some pretty good views up here. Cuyamaca Peak will be over there somewhere. You won't be able to see it. But yeah, nice. This is the highest peak I've ever been to inside the Laguna Mountains, and this is one of the higher peaks of San Diego County. Not many other peaks are higher than this. Cuyapaipe, Cuyamaca, Hot Springs Mountain are, I think, it might be the only peaks higher than this. I don't think there's anything else like around 6,300 feet in elevation. So yeah, this is basically, let's see, let me go in order again. Hot Springs, in order of descending elevation, Hot Springs at 6,533, Cuyamaca at 6,512, and then Cuyapaipe Mountain at 6,378. So I think this is the fourth highest peak in San Diego County. So not bad, not bad. So better get a couple summit shots, and then I'll look to see if I can find a better way to get down this without having to thrash as much. Maybe I'll find that duck route. Well, I'll keep you posted. All right, so now I have thus begun leaving of the summit. Now, the challenge is, what's the best way to get down? Hopefully an easier way to get down than what I have just dealt with coming up. So there's a summit block right there. Like I said, I approached from the west, kind of from the west, and then I hooked around to just to the north side of the summit block to get here. Now, I want to see if I can find a better route to get down without having to spend a lot of energy bushwhacking. Chances are I'm coming back around the same way. So I'm on the south side of the summit block now. Like I said, got to find what looks like a plausible descent route here. Unless I go back around the way I came, which is starting to look more likely right now. I think what I'm going to do is just kind of amble around the summit block and try to work my way around. Alright, let's see how this turns out to be. If I can amble my way around here. Alright, and it's already starting to look like a brush fest again. Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back around the way I came, I think. Alright. So my approximate descent route will probably be quite similar to my ascent route. So then, there again, there's a summit. I was going to try to see if there was an easier way to get down that way. That was not happening. Now, let's see. Very thickly brushy up here. So I just got to aim down towards that way over there. So at least this time, all this effort paid off in getting to the summit. Now, I can get down this side. Yeah, definitely didn't see any super obvious route to get up here. Pretty much a bushwhack the entire time. And it's looking like it's going to be at least as taxing on the way down. Just remembered the original way I came up. Could have saved myself a little issue over here. Things look a little bit different when you're going down than when you're coming up. Hopefully. Holy holies. Got the open spot over here. effort to get over here, though. Oh boy. My shirt is covered in junk. Oh boy. Alright, let's see. How much crazier will things get. Basically, my suggestion is be very comfortable bushwhacking. And also look for your more obvious roots. I think I'm a little off base from where I was coming from. So I'm gonna find an open spot. But no. Yeah, this isn't coming out. It's definitely coming down a little off base. Pretty sure I'm a little further south than my ascent. My ascent was closer to there, near where that oak thicket is. So I'm just gonna have to keep thrashing so I can worm my way back over that way. We'll see how this goes. Oh, I'm still making progress. Slow progress, but I'm making progress. Yeah, parts of this descent are worse than the ascent. I've had a lot of higher than head high bushwhacking on the way down from this. I've had a lot of bushwhacking here. Hoping I'll be coming out soon on that more open part on the bottom. Soon. I think I was on the other side of these canyon live oaks when I came up. So I must have come up at a diagonal. Okay. Now let's see if I can worm my way around this side of the canyon live oaks. So I think I was on the other side of these canyon live oaks here, I believe. I think these are the same ones. So if you're planning on doing this hike, pay attention. Or if you're a little techier than I am, get that GPS thing going. So this ain't over yet. I think I'm getting close to the bottom of the thicket line, I hope. I think I'm getting closer to the bottom of the thicket line. Hoping that's the case. Sure has been a crazy mess so far. I think I'm near the end of the chaparral. Let's see. So yeah, I'm not going to be able to give a precise route, but knowing my landmarks, I'm kind of able to tell a little bit what's going on with all this. Alright. So I'm in a more open spot now. Hoping this is going to be the end of the bushwhacking, or at least the real serious stuff. That was a lot of bushwhacking. A lot of bushwhacking. Alright. Well, I think this is. I hope it is. I'm kind of done with the bushwhacking today. Alright, I'm going to go keep going down this a little bit and we'll find out. So I'm kind of wandering around this thicket of canyon live oak, trying to worm my way around it without having to go out in the chaparral and start bushwhacking again, which I'm kind of hoping not to do. Ow. Let me see. See more trees up ahead, which should spell a good sign that we're going to be hopefully out of the chaparral. I know I'm heading the right way back to get to the road, because I'm heading on the east face of the peak. But the chaparral's thinning away. Now it's becoming more wooded, which is a good sign. So hopefully my bushwhacking is over with. So I don't think I'm too far from where I came up. What oak is this? I think that's a Tucker oak. That's interesting. Alright. Let's see. What would be the more auspicious way to get down this? Let's see here on the right side. Oh. Am I going to have rock scrambling over here too? Let me see. Whatever it is, it's not too bad. Ah, look at that, a rock duck. Huh. That's funny. That's hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. There's a rock duck right there. So I think I might be on that old faded use trail. After a certain point, I did have some thumping and some whacking, but I noticed it almost looked like there was like a game trail or a pathway on the ground. I actually found a rock duck. I don't know how few and far between those are or how frequently they come up, but it looks like I am done with the bushwhacking. Mercy. Very slippery up here, let me warn you. Pine needles are very slippery on the way down. Alright, so I just got to keep going down this. I just follow the path of least resistance, and I should be back on that double track and on my way heading back towards PCT, Thing Valley Road. Alright, if I run into any more things that I need to discuss, any more obstacles or whatever, I'll be sure to keep you posted. Okay, just about back at the double track. Let's see how close I am to where I left the trail. I'm looking here on the I'm looking here. I'm kind of at the point where this double track, I'm at the point where it starts descending. So yeah, I can see my footsteps. I walked to about over here somewhere, a little bit further, and this is where I started turning around before making the ascent. So I came out a little bit to the south of where I went up. So I'm actually at the crest of this portion of the trail. So I don't think I was too far off of other Peakbagger.com users and their routes to get up. I don't think I'm that far off, to be honest. You see, this is kind of where that's where the trail kind of crests. And I was mentioning, I was thinking that I should leave the trail before it crests. So, pretty close. I'm pretty sure I'm really close to where I left the trail. Let's go back here a little bit. Let's backtrack a little bit. So, well, this is further back than I thought. I mean, this area all looks the same, to be honest. This kind of looks like where I left it. Let me see. Yeah, I think this is where I left it right here. So now the hard part of my day's over. Now it's just following trail and road the rest of the way. Now I'll be trying to make a strike at trying to go up the Quillapaipai Reservoir. Again, it's like there's a small hill there. It's about 6,040 to 6,080 feet in elevation. Not listed on Peakbagger. Not even given an elevation on the topos, just an elevation ring. So we'll end this with a little small hat trick. It'll be 3 summits today. Of course, Peak 6299 being the most difficult by far. And really, honestly, it's not that steep. Just say if there were a use trail to get up there, just say if there were an actual use trail, no bushwhacking, no insanity, then I would say that the hike itself would have been relatively easy, because you're not gaining a lot of elevation. Once you leave the road, you're going up maybe if you're going up the slope, maybe 200, anywhere from 230 to 250 feet of elevation gain after you leave the double track here. So, all right, well, it's going to be pretty uneventful, I think. Of course, I'll keep you appraised if something else comes up. And I'll keep heading back down towards Thing Valley Road. Of course, I have to point out some of the plants along here. So, here's a plant that I've come to love insanely hardcore over the last few years, and it's the checker bloom right here. I'll say a sparsifolia or sparsiflora. Even finally getting a spotlight video on it. Always loved the checker blooms. But we got them blooming right up here, very profusely. Very beautiful plant. I love these plants a lot. And of course, we got more golden stars here too that I pointed out earlier. The Bloomeria. I think it's still in the genus Bloomeria. Of course, plant names change quite often. So I'll have to keep apprised of that. Golden Yarrow. Nice floral displays. Here's some more golden yarrow right here. Beautiful. Of course, Palmer ceanothus still blooming. Very nicely, actually. So I'm surprised I haven't pointed it out much today. All right. Now that stupid blister on the back of my left heel is starting to act up again. It started acting up when I was on the ridgeline shortly after I summited. I was kind of hopping between rocks and stuff, looking for a better way to get down. So I ended up opening that up and irritating it again. I can feel my shoes rubbing on it. All right. Well, down where I keep going, and eventually I'm going to be doing a lot of uphill on the way back towards Sunrise Highway. Actually, a lot of uphill on the way back. Oh well, at least it's on trail. Apparently, the double track over here still bears the Pacific Crest Trail. All right, go ahead and head down double track. Okay. This should lead down towards Thing Valley Road. Well, there we go. Hemilanki or Utah-ensis. Getting its fruit. I've never tried one of these before. I'll have to try one. See what it tastes like. Alright. Keep on going. Alright, so here we are back at the junction of the double track and Pacific Crest Trail again. So I suspect this all just parallels one another. The double track and the single track. So this is where I came up. Originally went up the PCT. Basically follows the curvature of the double track. So it might just all be the same thing. So now I'm back on this connector road that'll lead me back down to Thing Valley Road. This will lead me to Thing Valley Road. This is what I came up earlier when I left Thing Valley Road, came up this way. So now I'm gonna return and then start heading my way back and see if that spur road that I saw immediately branching off after was the route to get to Quipaipi Reservoir. So we'll see. Alright, so I'm just enjoying this very mellow walk. That's gonna start going uphill pretty soon, so I know I'm gonna have to start working at it again. But yeah, even an incense cedar in there too. That's pretty cool. A couple of them here. They're not extremely common here in the Lagunas, at least not where I've been. There are a few here and there. There's that beautiful Jeffrey pine again. That's a beauty. And occasionally we'll get an incense cedar popping up, which is always good. A lot of western chokecherry. There's a lot of it here in the Laguna Mountains. A lot of it here. So I want to see if any of this is going to turn into any cherries. Yeah. Yeah, you can see. This is Prunus virginiana ready to miss a. Very common here in the Laguna Mountain Range. And when I say very common, I mean very common. It's an abundant tree here. Or that's more of a shrub, actually. It's a very common shrub here. All right. And here's that meadow rue. I did a spotlight on this one at Mission Trails Regional Park in San Diego. And I'm not sure if this is the same variety because you got this is Thalictrum Fendler's meadow rue. Now I'm not sure if the variety here is the same as it is it's in San Diego. The one in lower elevations closer to the coast is typically Thalictrum Fendleri variety polycarpum. This one I'm not sure. This might be variety Fendleri because I believe variety Fendleri is maybe might be more likely variety found up here in the lagunas and in the higher mountains here of Southern California. So that could be Thalicterum Fendleri variety Fendleri, but let's do a little research on that again as well. All right, onward and outward. All right, now it's time for the uphill portion. Returning back towards the highway. Now we got to start going uphill. So this is where it's going to become a little bit more of a workout. So here we go. So once you see that sign there, on this side it says leaving Laguna Mountain Recreation Area. Obviously on the other side is entering Laguna Mountain Recreation Area. And you know, you're either starting your downhill part or your uphill part. What am I saying? You're ending downhill and going to be going uphill, whether you're going out towards that way or coming back, because this is where it kind of bottoms out in a small valley. All right, well, figured I'd let you know that's the point of where the elevation change goes from one to another. All right, now it's onward and upward. Back in the lovely Canyon live oak forest. So yeah, I'm trying to find there's a plant that's related to this called the Cleveland Horcalia. See, this right here is Drimacalus glandulosa, which is sticky cinquefoil. And there's a genus of plants called Horcalia. And we have a pretty rare, or at least a pretty rare endemic species called Horcalia clevelandi, subspecies Cleveland's Horcalia, which is often found growing next to its related Drimacalus glandulosa. I have not seen one today, and I've been walking slowly along this path. And not one. Keep my eyes out if I find it. I saw it the last time I was here, so I know it grows here. Until then, get to enjoy some burly Canyon live oaks. Occasionally pockmarked with some lovely Jeffreys. Dennis Jeffrey. Again, this is a very beautiful hike. Like I said, it gets a little crazy when you're trying to climb up. You're trying to climb up to get back, or to get up to the peak. If you're doing the peak, you could just hike the roads here and be perfectly good to go with scenic beauty and everything. But if you're trying to get to the peaks, I mean, it's beautiful too. It's just a lot of energy required to bushwhack. So it's very beautiful here, very beautiful area. So whether you are trying to climb up to the Cleveland National Forest high point, or if you're just trying to go for a mellow stroll in the woods like this, you really can't beat Thing Valley Road and the nearby Pacific Crest Trail. Very beautiful here. All right, I'll see you when I'm more up the way. All right, got a nice little opening in the woods here to get some nice views down this canyon here. There's a little spur ridge that comes off the Laguna crest, kind of goes out more towards the southeast. If you're ever on Monument Peak or on Stevenson Peak or nearby, and you look to the south and you see this big flat top mesa, that's it right there. I don't know, I don't think there are any named peaks up there, but it's a really cool looking mesa. But then you get at hand, it is very arid, more arid out there. It's more chaparral, and it goes up, I think, a little bit over 6,200 feet at its highest points, I believe. Then we got this canyon here full of beautiful Jeffrey pines and spectacular canyon live oaks here. I cannot get enough of this. And of course, some black oaks here too. But this is absolutely divinely forested here. Then you look at all this stuff and think, oh, this is a pretty nice thick forest, nice dense, beautiful mesic. We also have the reminder that the desert's not far off. Not only do we see the drier crest over there, the drier mesa over there, but then we also got brown spine prickly pear, also known as Mojave prickly pear, and that's Opuntia phaeacantha, and it's starting to bloom. Here's some more of it right here. This is Opuntia phaeacantha, brown spine prickly pear. This is the one you find at some of the higher elevations here in Southern California. Whereas where you're in coastal San Diego, you're more likely to find Opuntia littoralis, Opuntia auricola, closer to the coast, and then you got Opuntia occidentalis, Opuntia vacei as well. But higher up in the mountains, you get Opuntia phaeacantha. I think that's our highest elevation prickly pear here in Southern California. All right, well, enough about that. Just making this very gentle ascent back up. Very easy, gentle ascent. Like I said, there's going to be some uphill on the way back. And it's very gentle, very easy. Not too bad. It's actually very enjoyable because it's very beautiful and scenic here. And it's not steep, so this ain't bad. I'll take it and enjoy it. All right, I'll see you back up the way. Okay, so that's where I came from. That's Thing Valley Road. And now, pretty close to the highway. So, this is where I came in. I can see a car going through the thickets over there. So, to get up to my last summit, this is going to be my left branch. So that's Thing Valley Road from Sunrise Highway. Now this is a spur branching off to the left. So I'm going to see if I can follow this and see if I can find the Cuyupapi Reservoir. So that'll be the last stop on my tour today. And then it's just back to the car. Just got to cross the highway and hop over to the Red Tailed Roost picnic area. And I'm pretty much done for the day. All right. So this was originally going to be my second peak, but I wasn't sure that it was supposed to branch off this soon. So I didn't realize it branched off that quickly after dipping into the road from the highway. So let's see. All right. We'll see if this is indeed the right way to the Cuyupapi Reservoir and Hill 6040. Alright, so I'm going up this very gentle spur road off of Thing Valley. Again, I'm attempting to locate the Cuyupapi Reservoir site, which is where the hill is. The summit of the hill, I believe, is where the reservoir is. It's just pretty over here too. Now we're finally starting to get a little climbing. Start out very gentle. Now we're finally starting to go up a bit. So let's see. All right. See up the way. Very nice. I think I've just about hit the top of this one already. Here we are. Hill 640. 60-40. There's the Quyallapipé Reservoir. At the top of this small rise here. So this must be the Quyallapipé Reservoir. Assuming that's what this is here. Pretty sweet. So we're between 6,040 and 6,080 feet on the contour up here. So again, we'll call this Hill 6040. Pretty cool. Let's walk around the summit a little bit, try to get some views. Kind of hard because it's pretty forested up here, but when we swing around to the other side, you get to see more. Okay, and it looks like the high point is outside the fence. I don't count the concrete structure. Here's the high point right here. So I'll make this my third of the day. Very short walk getting up here. Very short walk. Only maybe anywhere from 100 to 150 feet elevation gain at most. So right in this canyon live oak thicket right here is Hill 6040. Between 6,040 feet and 6,080 feet. Pretty cool. So this will be my third summit of the day. A nice rock to lean on for a few minutes. Get something to drink. But I was looking over towards Quyallapipé Mountain over there, and then I could see the ridgeline right there is where Peak 6299 is, and that was my second summit climb of the day. So I'm gonna maybe shoot a couple pictures up here, get a sip, and I'll point out a few views. When I'm out in the open, I'll be able to point out a few more views. 360s ain't happening, but in the sense of far out views, I'm not gonna lie, the view at hand is very beautiful with these really beautiful clonal rings of canyon live oaks. Just stupendously beautiful. And on the way up, I noticed a really nice multi-trunk thicket. I'm going to point that one on the way down. Point that one out. So I'm going to go get a few pictures, and I'll move around and point out some other features. Alright, so here I am back at the other side of the reservoir. So now we get some clear views. That right there, again, that's where I was hiking earlier. That's Peak 6299, aka Mount Laguna, aka Cleveland National Forest High Point. So again, getting up there, you're really gonna have to have your wits about you to get through that brush. It's pretty insane bushwhack. Luckily, I got some pretty thick skin. I mean, I get scraped up and everything, but I mean, it's not that big deal. It doesn't even hurt. And then, again, that's Quyallapipé Mountain. That's the highest point in this mountain range, the Lagunas. I would love to climb up there, but I'm going to have to, again, I might have mentioned earlier, to get up to Quyallapipé, I think you have to write or call the Quyallapipé tribal office and ask for permission to venture up there. So it might be possible but I think you have to write to the Hwy Pipe tribal office. So that would be something I would want to do. However, I don't think they allow solo hikers to do that. So when they do give permission, I think you have to be probably at least 2 people, maybe a small group. I can't imagine them wanting huge herds of people doing it, but Hwy Pipe definitely is something I would love to take a hit one day, to take a lick to visit, because it's a high point in this mountain range, and so most certainly I would love to eventually get up to Hwy Pipe. I can just imagine how insanely beautiful it is up there. And I think you're supposed to be able to have an old dirt road or old dirt track that leads up there. I can kind of see something here kind of curling its way up towards the peak. I'm not sure which one's the peak, if that one there on the left is or that one on the right. Oh, because it is kind of like a double, like a twin peak type of summit. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly which one is which. But then again, there you have it. Mount Laguna, peak 6299. Really glad I made it up there. The second attempt was a complete and utter success. All right, I'm not going to film that much more on the way back. I'm not that far from the trailhead. I just got to go back down this dirt track and meet up with Thing Valley Road, and I'm basically home free, or car free. So, but on the way back, I will point out that big canyon live oak I saw. A really big, like, it's got a bunch of nice sized trunks radiating out from it. So I'll see you on the way back down. Just got to shoot a couple pictures up here. All right, so before I take a look at that canyon live oak that I was talking about, I haven't even left the summit yet, and I found this awesome plant right here, and this is called Montane Woolly Star. Right here, this is Montane Woolly Star. So this one here is Eriostrum densifolium, and we have 2 different subspecies up here. We have subspecies Astromontanum and subspecies elongatum, and this one appears to be subspecies Astromontanum. So Eriostrum densifolium, subspecies Astromontanum, and it's a member of the phlox family, the Polemoniaceae. It's a perennial plant, and it's got it's almost like a subshrub because there's some slight woodiness to the lower stems of this plant, but it's got these beautiful purple flowers with these darker purple streaks on them that are really striking. You kind of have to get close to look at the individual flowers to appreciate their natural beauty, but it's an absolutely cool looking plant. More like a miniature subshrub. And it's found here in beautiful Mount Laguna. I just noticed this when I was getting ready to come back down from the summit, and I figured I knew it was a phlox family plant. I consulted the field guide and was able to find out that this is Mountain Woolly Star. Beautiful plant. So I'm gonna start start going back towards that canyon live oak, get some footage of that, and then it's just maybe a clip or 2 back to the car. All right, starting to make my way down. Here's more of that Mountain Woolly Star, Eriostrum densifolium. And of course, our subspecies here is Astromontanum. What a cheerful plant. I'm pretty sure I've seen this before, but didn't really pay much attention to it, as that was before I was really trying to learn more about my herbaceous plants. Well, that one does have a slightly woody base on it, so it's kind of like a miniature subshrub. So I want to look for that canyon live oak. It's really, really, really awesome looking canyon live oak over here. I think I'm just about at it. Really Here we go, right here. Really handsome looking canyon live oak right here. Wow, this is a beauty right here. How incredibly beautiful is this tree? This is nice. This is all for one. This is all one oak, all from one root system. This is a big one. It's not extremely tall, but it's got some decent trunks on it. So this is a clonal ring. These are all trunks from one root system. It must have been an old trunk or a couple trunks back in the day, and eventually whatever happened, fire or whatever, and then these are the resprouts from it from decades ago. Absolutely beautiful canyon live oak specimen here. I have to admit, when they get like this, they're just so neat. And when I was up at the summit, you probably saw the smaller thicket up there, which had like 10, 15, 20 trunks. Really handsome too. But this one's a much older one here. I mean, these actually could be the same age, plant-wise or root-wise. They could be the same age, but the trunks on this one are much older. Quite thick and girthy too. What a handsome tree this is. This is a beautiful tree. So, definitely glad I made the trip up here too, because this is a cool little summit too. A lot of cool stuff going on over here too. So, very much enjoyed this. All right, time to start heading down. So, haven't even fully left the canyon live oak yet, and there's another species of plant here that's popped up. It's this plant here. It's a type of a pink, or a catchfly, as they call it. Now, not fully 100% confident in this, but I think this might be Lemon's catchfly, Silene lemoni. So, plants in the genus Silene are referred to as catchflies or pinks. And like I said, I'm still not fully confident, 100%. But I did notice a few up here. Now the reason why I'm not 100% is because there's some slight inconsistency, but as the more I look at them, more I'm convinced. Yeah, these are Lemon's catchflies, Silene lemoni. It's a member of the carnation and pink family, the Caryophyllaceae. This is the third species of Silene I've ever seen. The first one I ever saw was Silene laciniata, which has much larger perennial plant. This is a perennial too, but much larger plant, sheared, beautiful reddish, orangish, pinkish flowers, mostly orangish reddish, much larger in size. And then another one called Silene gallica, which is the windmill pink, which is a non-native. But this one is a native. And so what you do is you get these small white flowers. And if you notice, if you look carefully at the petals or the corollas, they curl. They kind of curl. You can see here. So the flower petals kind of come out. They come out from the center and then they curl back. They curl up and over a little bit. So it looks like we have a Silene lemoni. Now not all the flowers look like that. Some of them open up quite a bit more. So that's why I was not 100% sure. because I did consult my field guide to make sure what species of Silene I was looking at. See, these ones don't curl as much, but they're starting to show some curl. Sometimes I wonder if it's more of the older flowers or if it's just some of the flowers that display that. But this is a really cool looking plant. And again, it's in the pink family, the carnation family, the Caryophyllaceae. And see, these ones don't really curl much at all. As you can see, if you look carefully, you can kind of see the corolla edges are kind of sheared or pinked. That's where the term pinked comes from. The sheared kind of jaggedy edge of the flower. And there's another example right there. Like I said, some of them display that really big curling, and some of them really don't. See, this one here is not displaying a lot of it. So there's a lot of botanical interest here. Spring and early summer, you really can't beat being in the mountains during this time of year. And this one has some curling, not much. This one has a little lighter pink color, pinkish color. And again, the pinking, the term pink, does not refer to the color of the flower, because a lot of the plants have white flowers. Some of them have purplish, reddish, orangish flowers. So, yeah. So then we got ourselves a native Silene. Beautiful plant, actually. Beautiful plant with or without the flowers, but the flowers obviously add a big level of interest. So, all right, well, that's basically my rant about that. I almost wasn't even gonna do a clip about those, but I couldn't help it. In the end, the curiosity for plants wins out. All right, I'm just gonna follow this back down, and I'll see you down the way. But also, as I've been working my way down, I've seen another species of plant that I cannot identify. I'm noticing a lot of this today. I think it might be in the Polemoniaceae, maybe Agilia species. I'm gonna have to do some hardcore research on this one. Taking a few pictures, but I haven't been able to identify this one yet. There's a lot of it growing here in this little field. A lot of it growing here, so definitely want to find out more about this one too. And then again, got a lot of golden star blooming here too, so it's a really good day to be out here botanizing and identifying wildflowers. You really can't beat June up here in the mountains. All right, we're just about at the end of this little spur road here. Back to joining Thing Valley Road. Won't be much longer before I'm back at the car. So, obviously, what I've been doing a lot more is drawing out maps of my hikes. Of course, they're not always like 100% like to the foot or to the square inch, but what I'm gonna do is we're gonna hang her right here, and this is Thing Valley Road again. That's the way I went, which was downhill for a nice chunk of the way, and then uphill to the way back to Sunrise Highway. So look for a map. Like I said, when I try to map out my cross-country route to get to and from Peak 6299, be aware that's going to be a very approximate route, especially because of the fact that I don't have a GPS tracker, but based on the terrain I can give you an idea of which way I went up and which way I went down. So be on the lookout for that. And just about to hit Sunrise Highway now. Overall, not a very long hike. I don't know exactly how many miles, but I put in a good few. That'll be more clear when I map it out. I'd say probably at least 500, maybe about 500 feet elevation gain. Again, I'll have a better idea when I map it out. But for the most part, mellow except for the bushwhacking. And here we are. Thing Valley Road. here in Cleveland National Forest. Very beautiful day out here. Upcoming weeks is going to be much warmer here in the mountains. So next week's supposed to be in the low 80s here at Mount Laguna. So if I do make it out to any mountain hiking, it'll be very early. And the following week is going to be near 90 degrees here, which means I think I will be coastal canyon hiking again. Maybe another one of those canyons near Balboa Park or parts of San Diego. But here we are, back at Red Tailed Roost. Very beautiful day out here in the Laguna Mountains. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this hike as much as I enjoyed doing it, filming it, and explaining whatever I come across. So, end this off. Right here, Red Tailed Roost. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for some more adventures down the line.